Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly vlog for Sirens of the Paranormal, or Paranormal Researchers of Saginaw as you know us. I am Jonna, the founder.
I'm Amanda, the case promoter.
And we said we would vlog on what we feel is the most important equipment that you would need when you go on a paranormal investigation. The first of which being
the digital recorder,
which you should always have on you on an investigation to catch EVPs. You want to catch answers if you don't have a ghost box, which this is, pretty reliable. This one I actually got on eBay for pretty cheap, so it's easy to use.
You're going to see it inside. All you have to do is flip it on. It just takes a few seconds to kind of load up, and then once it goes into record mode, you can hit the nice pretty red button here that says record. And this particular one comes with some really nice features that we got with it. There's a couple of different things you can cover here.
Yeah, as far as recording goes, obviously you can record as is. You get, with the kit that I got, you can get a microphone, which you can actually hook to your shirt, but it does record across the room when we whispered, when we tested it out. If you don't have, a lot of people have the cell phones now, but they put this special thing in there. It's a box. It hooks up to the phone line and goes into the recorder. And that way, if you're doing a phone, prior to the investigative phone interview, then you can record what questions you have, and it'll record their answers.
It'll also allow you to, confirm things that you might not have heard, because, hearing isn't always 100%, or you're focusing on other things at the time. So it's really nice just to have to check that for some of your information.
Right. Also, as opposed to going, where did I set that paper that I just wrote the stuff down on, which, it happens. But as far as listening back goes, of course, you can listen as is. There's earbuds you can use, or you can go to like a Best Buy and get one of these, which hooks into it. This is actually just an MP3 player speaker that you just turn it on the side. You'll see a blue light on it, and you'll be able to listen to it.
And now almost everything we've covered here actually hooks into the microphone port at the top. However, you can also, this beautiful piece of equipment does have a little mini USB port like you find in a lot of cell phones these days. And that actually comes with the cable here that you can use to plug into the computer to download your information onto your computer to listen to your audio.
Yes, and the cool thing about this is, not only when you plug it in do you get your information, but it will help charge it. And it also comes with one of these, which has the port right in it for you to put the plug in. And I have one set up, and you'll see it'll initialize the system again. But this one is actually plugged into the line. And you will see, once it initializes, that it will charge the battery. So, it's a really nice piece of equipment to have, especially when batteries cost so much. If you're not using rechargeables, I recommend them highly. When you're reusing, it can get pretty expensive. So I think the little bit of extra money, it helps.
And now, when we were talking about that you can download this information onto your computer, if you have any kind of Audacity or any kind of audio playback, you can download it, upload the file into that particular program. I mean, we typically use Audacity because we can manipulate some of the tonal qualities and take out background noise and stuff like that. But any of the relatively decent programs will help you do that.
And also, you'll be able to take that WAV file and put it into an editing program, not just an audio editing, but if you have Miro or anything like that. I mean, it's a really nice piece of equipment to have. Plus, like I said, if you don't have a ghost box and you want to hear what the answers are, it's necessary in order for you to get the evidence that you need.
Because, I mean, a lot of places tell you that, the major thing they hear is they hear footsteps or they hear knocking. Well, you're not going to catch that on a camera unless you're using a video camera, in which case, most of the time you're carrying that with you. You're not necessarily going to have something that's going to stay in the room where the activity may be occurring.
Which static cams are sometimes they're a must, so we always have static cams around.
But we also use the digital recorder because you can catch things on one. For example, you can catch, drum beats or something
which we have, drums and bells actually.
But we didn't catch it on the video, we only caught it on the digital recorder. So it picks up different frequencies as well.
Now, if you're sitting there thinking, well, what if I do it and I heard a voice but it's not on there? That's normal. That's a disembodied voice. Sometimes when spirits try to communicate, they just want to communicate with you and no one else, then you'll be the only one to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that experience.
A couple of times, actually, on investigations.
And it's kind of odd because there was evidence after the fact that kind of supported what I was, what I had heard.
But at the same time, nobody in the investigation, excuse me, had heard it except for Jonna. And then we went back and reviewed everything. That's when it came up. And then you're like, well, I'm not crazy.
Right. So another thing about the digital recorders is that when you are using them, if you're doing an EVP session, I wouldn't recommend, and I mean a lot of people do, and here we go, I can show you it charging now. It'll say that the battery is charging. But anyway, my point was
a lot of us tend to carry them around. And when you carry them around, you're going to get like jostling noises, you run your finger over it, like a nervous gesture. And this recorder is so sensitive. It picked up somebody walking in another room and you could hear the cloth rubbing. Yeah. So, you kind of got to be careful of that. Don't hold it close to your body. You got to hold it out away from you. Make sure you're not touching, anywhere near where the microphone goes, that kind of thing.
And also, if you're doing EVP work, if you're doing a session, please take into account, give them time to answer. Let your questions be spaced out. Give them, even a minute or 30 seconds if you can't wait, that long. But don't also, when you're doing it, don't whisper, speak clearly so that it's your voice. Tag what you get. If you go, achoo, tag, I sneeze. Walking. It gets annoying, but it is necessary.
Fourth, hello, recorder, going next to the hunting camera, and this is the Berry house, and we are going to go lights out. Setting down recorder, walking away.
Like if you're using a camera, say flash, not just because it's going to show up on the video, but a lot of cameras have that noise, especially digital cameras, to tell you that they actually took the picture. And if you're not paying attention and you're just kind of rushing through audio, you're going to be like, oh, well, I heard that.
Flash.
Camera.
And not only that, but then you can match up the pictures with the audio and your video.
Because it'll tag every time.
Exactly. The evidence needs to support itself in order for you to be able to say, okay, we have audio that matches up with the video. So, in certain situations, you would say, okay, this place is haunted. Now, if you can't match up the evidence that you got, where you're like, no, we heard this voice when we got a picture of the orb, how are you going to know that unless you tag it?
Exactly.
So, that would be another thing to know.
Yep. And so we'll keep putting out the vlogs as long as you guys want to keep watching us. We'll keep covering some of the different equipment we use. We'll cover some of like the basics, how to get places to go, what you're going to do when you actually get there, the kind of information that you should get before you start an investigation. So that way, we can really educate you guys on what you need to do.
Absolutely. And for those of you who follow our vlogs and our show, we will be on again next week, Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at blogtalkradio.com/Siren of the Paranormal. And our show will be Tragic Love Stories, so we'll talk a little probably about Jerusha Howe and a couple others. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you'll enjoy it to celebrate Valentine's Day. And then I believe the following week we're covering voodoo. The voodoo that you do so well.
Also, you can always get a hold of us via Twitter, Facebook, on Blog Talk. We also have the website, which is at www.wix.com/paranorm researcher, a paranormal researcher
/pros. Mm-hmm. See, she doesn't even know.
I honestly, I don't visit our website. I spend most of my time calling people going, hey, do you want to come out? So I don't play with the website. That's hers.
Yes, that's my baby. But, yes, so also if you would like to be a guest on the show, we would love to have you guys, or even if, you wanted to send us a video to put on our vlog about what you do. We're all about paranormal unity, and we hope that you guys are too, because without others believing what we believe,
it's hard to, be able to stand up and say, hey, you know, we did this, we caught this, we found this, if everybody else is kind of going to go, well, you know.
Yeah, it's a community. I mean,
Yeah.
people should do for others, you know, even in without being paranormal, people should do for others.
And on top of that, if you ever want to be a guest on Sirens of the Paranormal, you just have to get a hold of either Donna or I. And we'd be more than happy to interview you and set up a fun time with you.
And also, if you're looking to have an investigation done on your home or business, we do have a privacy clause, so and it's all free. Contact us and let us know. So until next week, hopefully this vlog was educational for you.
And from Sirens of the Paranormal and Paranormal Researchers of Saginaw,
Jana,
Amanda,
see you guys next week.
bye.